Volume's still loud? Sounds like it is. What up, guys? To the Meet Damien live stream. I'm Damien, and today's live stream we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin as we normally do. Trying to figure out if Bitcoin is actually going to give us a little Santa rally this week here. Let's try to figure that out here. Guys, if you could just give me a quick volume check, make sure that the volume is good. I know last time we had the music a little bit too loud. Hopefully it's not an issue this time around, but let me know if it is. But anyways, let's get into it. So I got some levels here that I marked off on the chart here. These red levels are levels that we should be looking for Bitcoin to, if Bitcoin's below it, we're expecting a rejection at these levels here. 90,500 was a level that I've been eyeballing, only because it has been levels that we've been rejecting off of on the 1 hour time frame here. But also, if I turn on the VRVP indicator, which you'll see in a moment here, you'll see that the levels that we're looking for are the high volume nodes here off to the right, where we have a high volume node here at 91,400, as well as right here at 90,500, which we came up to earlier this morning, and now we're getting rejected. Looks like we're now starting to get some support off the moving averages on the 1 hour time frame below us. Okay. But if we can't get support off of those moving averages below us, then we do have high volume node level below us, and this is other red line here at 86,800. If Bitcoin loses basically 87,000, 88,000 here, then we're probably going to come down to 86,800 most likely, where we should be able to get some support in that area. And that's just based off this VRVP indicator here off to the right, showing the high volume nodes here to be on the lookout for. All right. Had Bitcoin continue going up to higher prices earlier this morning, going into this afternoon, I was looking for levels above us. Okay. The next level would have been this $91,400 level here. This blue line, red line here. Okay. And then the next level above that would have been like the $93,200 level here, is a level where we need to pay attention to if Bitcoin is going to continue being bullish later on this week. Right now we got rejected off 90,500, but I think we can still make a higher low here and then start making higher highs. And when that higher high comes in, yeah, I think we'll push past 90,500. And then the next level to look out for is 91,400. Let me know if you guys are looking at any other different levels in the short to medium term here. These are the levels that I'm looking at, and that's just based off this VRVP indicator here off to the right. But let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. Okay. Let's get into the daily time frame here. And let's try to get the bigger picture view here for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is able to get past 91, 92, 93, 94K, some of those levels that we're looking at above us in the short to medium term, where could Bitcoin ultimately go if it's going to go past 93, 94K? Well, if I turn on that VRVP indicator one more time, you'll see a high volume node here at 96K. That's the level that I'm really looking out for in the long term. I think we might actually come up to it, get rejected, and make a lower high, and then maybe Bitcoin continues being bearish from there on out. But I still think we can climb up from where we are right now at 88,300 up to that 96K level there before we actually get rejected. We haven't come up to 96,000. We came up, I believe, as high as like 94,500. At least on Coinbase Exchange here, 94,640 on December 9th. But I believe that 96K area is going to be an area that we need to be looking out for, where we could possibly get rejected here on Bitcoin. All right, let me just let the chart readjust itself. But this blue line here, I know I got a bunch of red lines here, and I should probably get rid of the moving averages so I can make it a little bit more easier to see here. But if we get past all this noise here between 88K to like 94K, I think 96K is going to be the level for us to be on the lookout for as the ultimate rejection level, where we could make a lower high before we go down and start making lower lows, you know, if we're going to continue being bearish here in cryptocurrencies. Okay, but maybe, just maybe this week, Santa will be nice to us and we'll see Bitcoin hit 96K between now and the end of this week. If not now, then when? Like, when will Bitcoin actually hit 96K, the ultimate point of control area on the VRVP indicator? This is an area where the majority of people that bought and sold Bitcoin, they bought it at 96K. They were buying Bitcoin here in May at 96K. They were buying it here in February and January, as well as like December and November of last year. So that's an area that I think a lot of people are gonna probably call it quits on Bitcoin and actually hit the sell button just to break even, because they might be fearful that we might be going into a bear market here. And I think these 96K people here are going to probably want to get out at break even. That's just my opinion. If we can push past 96K, we can head up to another high volume node above us at, we got a high volume node here at 101,800. And then we also have some more high volume here at 105K. All right. You start doing that and I'll become even more optimistic about Bitcoin and stop being, you know, as pessimistic as I have been the last couple of months, or, you know, bearish, I guess you could say. But you got to do it. You got to first get past 96K, and then you got to hit 102 to 105K. And then once you get past 105K, then I'll actually become bullish again on Bitcoin. Let's see what the 200-day moving average is doing, because that is a moving average I got to pay attention to here. The 200-day simple moving average is this red line. I know I got a bunch of red lines right now, but this other red line here is a moving average here. And that's sitting at about 107,800. If Bitcoin can actually get up to 107,800, then I would actually become bullish again. Well, I should say I would be cautiously optimistic about Bitcoin, and I would start to flip bullish again on Bitcoin if we get past 108K and continue on to those levels. But, you know, the longer we stay at 88K and just hanging out in the 80s here, it seems like a long lost, far-fetched dream for us to get back up to 108K right now. But those are the levels that I'm looking for. We've been looking at these levels. Let me take a look at the chat, see what you guys have to say in the chat here. Bob Singe thinks that we're going to drop further. Somebody here is saying 9K. Are you saying 9K or 90K? Bitcoin hasn't been at 9K since 2020. It's like 5 years ago. I don't think Bitcoin's actually go down to 9K, if that's what you're saying. Way too many people involved in Bitcoin for it to go down to 9K, in my opinion. I'm not that bearish. I think Bitcoin could easily go down to 60K though. That's another level that I'm looking for on the downside. Let's see. Arthur Castlebear says, "Hi, can you help me to make money on a trade?" You can do a copy trade. Let's take a look at the trade that I'm in right now on MEXC exchange. I actually am in a Bitcoin trade right now. And right now, I got in on Bitcoin on a 25x long at $88,080, around that area. And now Bitcoin's at 88,300. I'm up about a modest 7% on that trade, you know, with that 25x leverage. But yeah, Bitcoin is the trade that I'm in right now. I was in a Zcash long, and I had to close that trade out because Zcash was coming down. But I got in the Zcash long yesterday at what I thought was a good price at $434. And I think Zcash is right back to that same price right now. So kind of a washout. But I am looking for longs. It seems like around this time is a good time to, every time I go live, in the beginning of my live streams at like 4 p.m. Eastern time, seems like it's always a time when Wall Street gets done selling and we can actually start buying crypto again on the cheap to like go for our longs here. But if you want to follow me and copy my trade here, just to see if it works out for you, I am doing 25x leverage long here on Bitcoin. I got in at 88,000 roughly. I'm not sure if you're able to do that because Bitcoin's kind of climbing up right now at 88,300. But my stop loss right now is currently hanging out at 87,700. That's where I got my stop loss. I'll lose about 10%. If I was to lose on this trade, I would lose about $23, and that's what I normally plan on losing on these day trades that I do with you guys on the live streams. I don't like to lose more than $20 on any of these particular trades here. And I am game planning to see if Bitcoin can go back to where it was earlier this morning at 90,500. I'll make $146 on this trade. I'll be up 68% on this 25x long. So you can try that for a leverage long here. One thing that I like that I'm seeing here on the 15-minute is that the MACD selling pressure is starting to die off. We need to continue seeing that and hopefully get some buying pressure going here. Let's also see if we can get above this 200 moving average, this red line here. That'll make me feel better about Bitcoin climbing up to higher prices and whatnot. I'm a little bit worried that we might come up to this 200 moving average, get rejected. This 200 moving average is sitting at 88,600. We could get a rejection off of here and then maybe kind of continue the downfall here. Just an idea, you know. And if we were to continue going to lower prices here on Bitcoin, I mean, I did have that stop loss below most of the candle wicks here, but I mean, we could probably drop down to the low here. At least here on MEXC exchange, we can go down to like 87,500. All right, maybe in the short to medium term here. But I just think that would be just another area to see if you can try to go long at that area. And then you can put a stop loss really tight at like 87,004 or 87,200, somewhere around there. And just try that out if you're going to be into aggressive long here. But it would be better to actually try to long and get some confirmation. So I think, you know, if we do come down to where I basically bought in on Bitcoin at $88,000, I would like to see if Bitcoin is actually going to make a double bottom at $88,000 and then try to go up to higher prices here. I wish I could try to draw this on the chart here on MEXC. I don't think they really have a drawing feature here. Let me see. Do they have a drawing feature? Yeah, no, they don't. Or at least I'm not aware of any drawing feature here. But if you could just visualize it, if we come down to 88K, make a double bottom, that would justify definitely getting into a long, and then you can put the stop loss right where I put it at 87,700. If 88K is gonna hold, then this might be the lows for today. It seems like that's been the theme going into like last week. Like every time Wall Street ends their session, the New York session, we end up having a pretty good night for cryptocurrencies because Wall Street, they seem like they own the most Bitcoin and they're willing to sell Bitcoin and push the price down. And then around this time is usually a good time to get in, is what I've noticed the last few days here, day trading this stuff here. D2 Miami's in the chat. D2 Miami wants to take a look at XDC. You can go ahead and take a look at XDC for you. Sure enough. Thank you for the requests. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Let's get a few more likes here. We're at like 490 likes. Let's see if we can get up to like 1,000. That should be easy to do right here. Idris, oh no, you lost $1,000 today. That's no bueno. There might be you might be having some problems with your risk management if that's the case. That's a good amount of money for any person to lose in one day. I don't care how big your bank account is. Losing $1,000 is not a fun fun thing to do. Shafi wants to take a look at Uniswap. Okay, I got you, Shafi. And let's see. Peter, we just talked about Bitcoin. Hopefully you enjoyed that analysis there on Bitcoin. I just said that we Bitcoin 88,000 needs a hold, or else we're going to come down to like some lower prices here, obviously. If Bitcoin was to go down lower, I want to see if it hold that $86,800 level here. Okay. If not, it could be bad news bears for us if we don't hold 86,800. On the upside, I still think we're going to revisit 90,500, see if that is really resistance. I don't think it should be. I thought the $91,400 level would be a stronger resistance area, but that's also another level to look for. And then it costs 93,200 is another level to look for in the short to medium term for Bitcoin. For targets where you can take profit and possibly enter a short. Yeah. Aless says, do I generally see us having a parabolic altcoin season in 2026? I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. We've had a lot of positive catalysts recently that you would think would launch us to higher prices here. We've had the Federal Reserve lower interest rates. We've had them do quantitative easing starting last week. You would think that we would start the parabolic move up right now, okay? But we're barely struggling just to get Bitcoin, back to 90K again, and then back above its 200 moving average. What would be the positive catalyst for 2026? We would need to see more interest rate cuts, right, to get that altcoin season going. So I guess the answer to your question is, as long as they keep cutting interest rates and doing quantitative easing, you might see that parabolic season. I would put it as a maybe. Okay, but then you have to ask yourself, why are they cutting interest rates and doing quantitative easing? Because if we're going into a recession, which is always a possibility, right? We keep on losing jobs, and it could be us losing jobs to like AI. It doesn't have to just be like the economy just sucks. It could also be AI's taking jobs away from people. And if people are losing their jobs, how are they going to buy crypto? They're going to struggle putting a roof over their head and food on the table. So I don't. To answer to your question, the short answer is maybe, and then most likely maybe not. Okay, that's why I would be leaning towards maybe to maybe not. I would not say a definitive yes, we're going to get a parabolic altcoin season in 2026. I would be pleasantly surprised if we did. All right, let's move on to XDC, because we did have that request here. And then we'll take a look at the Uniswap after that. Oh, looks like I've already looked at XDC here. Done some previous chart work here. I'm just going to get rid of this Fibonacci for now. I think this is no longer in play. I'd rather use the VRVP indicator for now, just to figure out what the levels to look out for. But we see that the XDC here on the daily time frame is trading at just below 5 cents at 0.047 pennies, up 1.5% today. And XDC, you are threatening to go down to even lower prices. I see this already on the charts. But let me go ahead and pull up the VRVP indicator so you can see the levels to look out for. Let's see what the VRVP indicator has to say. We're looking at data going all the way back to August of 2024, okay? So we got all of that data, and the VRVP indicator is showing us all the buys and sells at particular price levels, and then how big of a buy and sell it was. And we can see that right now, where price is currently trading at, we don't have that much support until we come down to this high volume node here. It seems like a good amount of people did buy XDC at around 4 pennies, 0.042 pennies to be exact. You got some support between 4 pennies and 0.042 pennies before maybe this thing stops going down and actually maybe does a reversal and just starts an uptrend. But I think this thing is not done bleeding down yet. and going down to lower prices until you get down to 4 pennies. All right, that's your support right there. Your support is like, you know, it's kind of almost like a video game where like like maybe one of those old video games where Mario jumps on these platforms and then tries to jump to the next platform. But your next platform that could save your ass is 4 cents right here, if you think of it that way, with this VRVP indicator showing the high volume node here. Okay. And then to the upside, if we were to start climbing up for it for any reason, there should be some resistance here at like 5.5 pennies. Okay, you got another high volume node here at 5.5 pennies. I think that could be where it might be tough for XDC to continue climbing up to higher prices. We'll see how it handles itself when it gets to 5.5 cents. But that is also a high volume node here on the VRVP indicator here. So I basically give you the upside target in the short to medium term. You're probably going to go down to 4 cents. If not, if you just all of a sudden get a reversal out of nowhere, you'll probably end up heading towards 5.5 cents before it might reject, or it might just go sideways at 5.5 cents here. But that's information from the VRVP indicator here. Now, I do have some other things to look out for here. You got the moving averages here, the 21 EMA. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. But the 21 EMA, this white line, has been acting like a bully and pushing you down. Every time you come up to this white line, you get rejected. You come up to it, you get rejected. You come up to it, you get above it for like a day or two, and then you lose it and get rejected. And then you come up to it, you try to hang on, and then of course you get rejected. And right now, you know, this 21 EMA, the story is that when you probably come up to, like, in this case, 0.048 pennies is where this thing is hanging out. That might be where you get rejected again, until you continue on down to 4 pennies before maybe you get some support around 4 pennies. So I'll just put this on the chart for now, that we are now looking for 4 pennies as a possible level for us to hit, and maybe get some support at that level. And also we said 0.042 pennies, which we're not too far off. But yeah, I think this thing might want to come down a little bit further in the short to medium term here. Bob says, can you look at XRP? I can do that for you. Sure enough. Thank you for the request. And then Idreas wants to look at Dog with Hat. Alright, I'll make sure I look at that before XRP, because you did say that you want to look at that before the XRP request came in. Sunny Vaz says Bitcoin $150,000 by March. Okay. Why is that the case? That would be nice for the cryptocurrency holders, and I would definitely flip bullish if Bitcoin. I told you I would flip bullish on Bitcoin if it gets up to 108K. That's where the 200-day moving average is at for Bitcoin. D2 Miami wants to look at XYO. Okay, we'll have to look at that after XRP. And then let's see. I think I've hit all the comments here on TikTok. Thank you guys for coming into the live stream here. I'm looking at what was I looking at? I'm looking at TradingView for the information here on the charts. All right, we gotta take a look at the Uniswap here. And guys, what cryptocurrency platform are you guys trading on? Because I actually just became affiliated with WEEX here, as a popular cryptocurrency exchange. And if you guys are looking for another cryptocurrency exchange to trade on, or you're just getting started in crypto and you're not sure where to start, then I can give you the affiliate code where you can get some get the referral bonus for entering onto a WEEX platform here. Okay. And I'm also currently working on partnering up with another cryptocurrency exchange, so they're coming, guys. The bonuses, the exclusive rewards, they're all coming soon here, guys. I got a couple of cryptocurrency exchanges interested in partnering up with me. One of them is WEEX here. Okay. And I guess I'll tell you that the other one is actually MEXC. MEXC wants to work with me too. Golden Crypto Stacker wants to look at stacks, STX. Okay, let me go ahead and write that down. Alright, let's look at Uniswap first. Uniswap currently trading at $6, down 11 cents today, down 1.8%. And I mean, I had a Fibonacci that I drew on this thing from like 472 up to the $19 level here, and that was measuring from this low here, you know, to the high here. But I'm just gonna get rid of this for now, because I mean, I could always redraw it later if I want, but I'd rather just stick to the VRVP indicator here for now to look at the levels to look for. And if I zoom out a little bit more, get some more data, we got data going all the way back to like 2022, so this should be some pretty solid data here. And just looking at the VRVP indicator here, you got the point of control. The majority of people have bought and sold Uniswap at $6.11. You're right near the point of control. So you would think there should be some support at this area. If not, then you know, we could lose this level here that we're at, and the level to look out below you. There's a little bit of high volume here at 530, 534, somewhere in that area for Uniswap. But then there should be even more support at this value area low, this white line at 472. Looks like 472 was like kind of like the lows for the year on Uniswap here. We haven't really gone below 472. Maybe we kind of did like back here in April 2025. Yeah, we went to like 469. But yeah, about 469 to 472 is an area that you could scoop up some cheaper Uniswap. But just know that if you're in it right now, you could come down to that level there. Okay. However, if we're going to be bullish here, if Uniswap is going to continue being bullish, then levels to look out for, just looking at the VRVP indicator here, you got the value area, the value area low, the point of control, and then above us, you got a value area high sitting at $9.06. This is where this could possibly go to and get rejected. That's about a 50% move from where we are right now. And it's also above the moving averages. I think if we actually do start climbing up on Uniswap, I would expect a rejection off the 50-day moving average at 674, and then a rejection off the 200-day moving average at 790 if it does start doing that right now. And I'm just looking at the bigger picture. Let me just zoom on in, see what it looks like, you know, on the chart pattern here. And I'll get rid of the VRVP indicator. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you know, if we were to climb up, you know, I would expect a rejection off the 50-day moving average at $66.74, and then of course getting up to the 200-day moving average at 790, going to be probably a rejection as well there. Looks like right now, could we be starting a bull flag? I hate to like speculate and just draw out a pattern here, but just game planning things out here, you know, you would want to see either a bull pennant or a bull flag, something like this, where we kind of like, you know, hang out near $6, build a solid support area before we start climbing up to higher prices here. And if this does end up as a bull flag, it's just an idea. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but you know, if this is a bull flag, right, you got the flag and you got the flagpole, you take the flagpole, which is you're going to be your measure move on this, okay, and you just put it on top of like where we could break out on the top of this flag, and it's saying that we could get up to that blue number there, $8.15 for Uniswap, which would put you right above the 200-day moving average. And I think, you know, if you do get up to the 200-day moving average, you should consider clicking the sell button. So if we get up to like $7.90 or $8.15, I would take profit on Uniswap. Phoenix says this rally will fail like all the rest. You speak with such surety. I mean, this could just be a relief rally. So if it's a relief rally, then yeah, a relief rally in the name of it, it's just a little bit of relief, but it probably means that we're gonna go down again. So yeah, you might be right. You might be right. But then, you know, in the meantime, you could still make some money taking some day trades and longing Bitcoin, and then shorting it when we actually get close to hitting the targets on Bitcoin and crypto. And I already gave you the targets. I said we're looking for 90,500 because that was a high for the day. But we're also looking for 91,300, and I believe we're looking for like $93,000 as well as 96,000 for some possible targets to the upside where we can take more profit and then try to enter a short. Daza says Papa Solana into Santa drops. Make sure you're on the nice list. I don't know what that's all about, but sounds good to me, I guess. All right, we gotta now look at the dog with hat and then XRP. All right, so we're looking at dog with hat on the daily time frame here. Dog with hat currently trading at 33 cents, down 3.2%. And dog with hat clearly in a downtrend. Lost his 200-day moving average back here September 23rd. Came back and back tested it, bearishly back tested it on October 6th before you finally got sent down into hell, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah. And since then, since you lost the 200-day moving average, this 21 EMA, this white line has been acting as resistance. Every time you come up to it, you lose it. Come up to it, you lose it. Come up to it, you lose it. Recently, though, we actually been trying to stay above it, so that was kind of interesting to see here in the beginning of December. Us trying to use the 200-day moving average as support, but look, you lost it again here on Wednesday, December 17th, last Wednesday. So I think if we do climb up to higher prices here on dog with hat, you're gonna have a hard time, you know, just trying to stay above this white line at 37 cents, 30.376 pennies. Not sure what you're gonna do with that, right? We're only 4 pennies away. But until you actually show that you're getting above this white line here, it's gonna act as resistance. But if you do get above this white line, then the next line you got to worry about to the upside on the daily time frame is this green line, the 50-day moving average. The 50-day simple moving average could act as resistance as we try to climb up to higher prices. And right now, this 50-day moving average is kind of confluent with what you were trading at back here in October, where you were trading sideways at around 53 cents. I think 53 cents is going to be your upside target if you're swing trading this. But if you're day trading it, I mean, all you're trying to do is just long now to try to sell at 37 cents. That's all you're probably going to get on dog with hat before you get rejected again. All right. But let's try to zoom out here on dog with hat. You're near kind of like the lows for the year. Like, we haven't really been this low. I mean, we were at the same price around November 21st when Bitcoin was threatening to go below 80K, but now you're basically at the same price again that you were at back here when Bitcoin was at 74K back in April. You know, you guys remember that when we had a little Trump tariff scare, and then they did a pause on tariffs and that sent the price up? Well, guess what, guys? They're not doing pause on tariffs anytime soon because it's not really an issue. They kind of worked out the deals with these countries already. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we've had all these deals with these countries. Tariffs are no longer an issue. They're lowering interest rates, and they're doing quantitative easing. And you wouldn't even know that by looking at the charts here for like this meme coin, dog with hat. It's not even catching any bids here. There's no excitement. There's nobody interested in buying dog with hat. They're all buying gold right now. They're buying the stock market near all-time highs. How are we able to convince our friends and family to get into crypto when you got dog with hat doing this kind of crap, where it's near the lows for the year and it's threatening to go to lower prices here? I mean, don't go lower than, you know, the November 21st low at 31 cents, or else it's really game over for dog with hat. But I already gave you upside targets. If it's not going to be game over, then you got to get past 37 cents, and then you're going to see if you can try to get past 53 cents. Thoughts on stacks? You think the bottom is in on stacks? Well, we're going to take a look at stacks, but we got a couple more requests ahead of that. We got to look at XRP and then XYO because those requests came in earlier before stacks. But we're going to get to it. Don't you worry. I got you, bro. I see Dizzle's in the chat. Dizzle says, no thanks, I don't give my money away. All right. Let's look at XRP. See how XRP is doing right now. What is XRP? I know I got it on my watch list there. There we go. All right. XRP currently trading at $1.90, down 0.99% today. And XRP having the same issues like these other altcoins here with this 21-day exponential moving average. This white line is acting as resistance. If we are going to be bullish, the first order of business is to get above this 21 EMA, which has been acting as resistance quite a few times here the past few weeks, okay? Right now, this 21 EMA, this white line is hanging out at $1.99. Can we get up to $1.99? I think if you get up to like $1.99, $2, people feel more comfortable about being in XRP, thinking that maybe, you know, the lows have been placed here, where we did come down to like $1.77 on December 19th, and we came down as low as like $1.81 on November 21st, earlier this year. So get above $1.99, $2, and then we can start making the case that can we get up to this 50-day moving average. And it's just like the other cryptocurrency that I saw, you know, where this 50-day moving average could act as resistance. Right now that's sitting at 241. I think that's going to be a problem area for XRP if you do get up to that price. All right, let me zoom out, and I'm trying to get the VRVP indicator fired up here, so that way we can see what some of the most likely levels are for resistance above us on XRP. Okay, so I fired that thing up here, and you can see that we got a VRVP high volume node at 218. 218 could be a problem area, just based on the volume node here. And this was an area that, you know, XRP was trading at sideways here back in earlier this summer, and towards like April earlier this year. So the people here, they might just decide to break even and click the sell button when we do get up to like 218, 219 on XRP. And then so you got some more, you know, we've already said 240 was going to be probably an issue because of that 50-day moving average, but it's also a high volume node here on the VRVP indicator. Okay, so I think 240 could be a good area to take profit on XRP if it does get up there, you know, sooner rather than later. And if XRP continues on a nice bull run past 240, then the volume starts to drop off here on the VRVP indicator here. You get a little bit of volume at 288, and then you got some more volume here at like $3. Okay, so those are your ultimate long-term swing trade targets for XRP. If we get past 240, you might see 280 and then $3. But it's gotta do it, right? How many other, you know, influencers and creators out there, content creators, have said XRP is gonna go to like $500 and it still hasn't done it yet? I try to give you guys some realistic targets here based on what I see on the charts, and you know, I can be bullish on XRP once we get past this 200-day moving average at 258, and then I think after that, you know, 280 is going to be a struggle, and then $3 is going to be a struggle. And that's just looking at the charts, guys. That's just being realistic with you. I know some people don't want to hear that. They want to hear about XRP going to $10 or even like, you know, $100, but one level at a time. You know, first show us that you can get up to $5. Has XRP ever been as high as $5? I don't think so. Let's first try to do that, you know, before we start talking about 10, 20, $100 XRP. But anyways, I kind of gave you the upside targets on XRP. I didn't really give you the downside targets, okay? If we're gonna drop down and go into a bear market here on XRP, then, you know, just using this VRVP indicator, you know, with data going all the way back to like August of 2024, we do have some high volume nodes here below us at like $1.50. That could be an area where XRP could come down to. And then also we have $1.12. Okay, $1.12 is another area where we could get some support for XRP. But yeah, let's hope that we don't lose like $1.80, $1.70 here, because then next is $1.50 and then $1.10 after that. All right. Moving on from XRP, we'll take a look at XYO. Alright, so we're now looking at XYO. And don't worry, Stacks is coming after this. XYO is trading at about a half a penny right now. I'm still going to use that VRVP indicator because I think it's a very useful, very realistic indicator to be using here. And you can see that on the VRVP indicator here that we do have the high volume node here sitting, the highest volume node here sitting at 0.00589 pennies. That's your point of control, your POC. That blue line right there. That's going to be your first resistance level that you got to break past, and it's going to be the hardest resistance level because majority of people bought at that level thinking that they bought the lows, but that wasn't the low for XYO. But if you can get past, 0.00589 pennies here, there's not that much resistance above you. I mean, I guess you could have the daily moving averages above you. Could be resistance. You get the 50-day at 0.007 and 200-day sitting at 0.0086 pennies. That could be another area to take profit on this asset here. But then you also got a high volume node here at about roughly 1 penny. And that makes sense because a lot of people bought at 1 penny. They did it back here in September. They did it back here in June. They also did that back here in March and April earlier this year. 1 penny is definitely a good target to take some profit on because, I mean, right now that's about a 100% gain from where we are right now. If I just measure it out real quick, I'll just measure it out. I mean, I can kind of do the math in my head, from 5 pennies to like, I'm sorry, from a half a penny to a penny should be about a double. But if you need to see it with your own eyes, it's like right now it's like a 93% gain from where we are right now, okay? Because we're not actually at a half a penny, but if we go from where we are right now to a penny, that's about a 93% gain right there on XYO. And I think you should definitely click that sell button. Not financial advice, but click that sell button, take some profit, and thank yourself later, especially if it drops down again one more time on you. Lewis Lessons is asking me, is it worth taking your money out now? Lewis Lessons, I can't give you an answer to that question because I don't know your personal financial situation, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't even tell you what to do with your money. All right. All I can say is, if you feel like you're having trouble sleeping at night and you're constantly thinking about crypto when you should be thinking about some other important stuff in your life, like your family, paying the bills or whatever. If you're worried about not being able to pay the bills because your money's tied up in crypto, then it probably means you have too much money in crypto or too much money in whatever asset you're in. I'm not sure what you're even talking about when you say taking your money out. Take your money out of what? Take your money out of stocks? Take your money out of crypto? Like, I don't, you gotta be more specific. But if you're worried about whether or not you should be taking your money out, maybe you might need to take some of it out. Okay, see how it makes you feel. Make sure you have enough money in cash to pay your bills or whatever else you were trying to do. If you were trying to buy a house or buy a car, make sure you have enough cash to do that, right? Not financial advice, but do whatever you need to do to help yourself, sleep better at night. So yeah, I can't really get too much into it without giving you financial advice, but it sounds like whatever you're in, you might maybe consider taking half of it out, or like a third or a quarter of it out, and see how it makes you feel. But I'm not giving you financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I would never give you financial advice because I can't give you financial advice. I'll get into trouble if I try to pretend to be a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube and TikTok over here. Let's take a look at STX. We gotta look at stacks. All right, so we're looking at stacks right now. Currently trading at about less than 25 cents at 0.2474 pennies here. Let me get rid of that Fibonacci, and I'm just gonna stick to the VRVP indicator here because why not? It's a pretty realistic indicator that gives us real-time data on the amount of volume that was trading at any particular price level here, where the highest volume levels are going to be these nodes here. In this case, the highest volume node is showing this blue line here at 62 cents. That's going to be a problem area if we ever get up to that price, but right now we're at like 24 cents. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this line right now because I don't think that's, I can always draw that later. But we do have a value area low at 40 cents. If we get up to 40 cents, I would expect a rejection at 40 cents. And also we got this 50-day moving average, this green line, sitting at 42 cents. I think if by the time if price does climb up to that 40-cent level, that green line is probably going to come down and we'll get rejected off the green line, which will probably be confluent with the white line at that point. And I think 40 cents is your X marks the spot where you should be taking profit if you're able to take profit at 40 cents. But right now, this thing is just nosediving and cratering towards lower prices here. Before you can even consider getting up to that green line at 42 cents, you have to get up to the 21 EMA and stay above it. 21 EMA is sitting at 28 cents right now. I think 28 cents is going to be your first problem that you have to deal with before you get up to like 40 cents here. But if you can get up to that white line and actually start making higher lows, higher highs here, right? You do something like this where you get up above that 21 EMA, make a higher low, make a higher high. Now you're doing something different here. You're not in a downtrend anymore. You're in an uptrend, making higher lows, higher highs. Where right now you're making lower highs and lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Stop doing this downtrend and start doing something different here where you're making higher lows, higher highs instead. And I think you'll be alright. So I forgot what you had a question about stacks, right? I think you had a particular question. You just wanted me to check it out. Okay, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to. All right. You're wondering if the bottom is in. Okay, that was the question. Okay, is the bottom in? That's a good question. How do I try to figure that out? Well, I want to look for a very easy way to figure it out is if it does a double bottom. It has bottom in the name, right? You haven't really done a double bottom yet. Right now the lowest low, besides this crazy candlewick low, which I'm not even gonna count, but the lowest low recently was at 23 cents. If we come down to 23 cents and do like like a double bottom here and come back up, then I would say, all right, we did a double bottom. The bottom's probably in on stacks, okay? But you haven't done that yet, okay? Another thing to look out for is to see if maybe you come up to this 21 EMA and you make a higher low, and then you start going up and make, get past the higher high here, and then you can say that, all right, the bottom's probably in because we have a low, a high, a higher low, and it looks like we're on our way to make a higher high here, okay, if it does do something like that. But yeah, you haven't even done that yet, so that's not gonna be a way to figure out if the bottom is in. The only thing I can try to do now is try to see if there's any bullish divergence on the daily chart with using the RSI indicator here. Let me go ahead and try to fire that thing up here. So this is the RSI indicator here, this red line here. It tells you the overall strength of the asset at any given moment here. Right now the RSI is at 32.13, this red number right here, 32.13. And I'm looking to see if we're making higher lows here on the RSI to like justify us possibly getting ready to form a bottom here. And right now, 26.93 was like a low here on December 1st, and 26.89. No, that's not going to cut it. You're still making a lower low on the RSI here. You don't have bullish divergence yet. So, to answer your question, no, the bottom is not in yet on stacks. Okay? I need to see something where we're making higher lows here. Like, I want to be able to see you know, the next low come in where we can get some bullish divergence. So like you can see the price is still, you know, the price is still making lower lows here, right? However, you're making higher lows on the RSI. That's bullish divergence. That could be signaling that buyers are actually stepping up to the plate on stacks, but I don't think that's the case right now. Another thing here is on the MACD indicator here. I want to see like this blue line cross the orange line to the upside and get a MACD crossover. You kind of had that going on back here on November 26th, okay, where the blue line got above the orange line, but then of course we lost it with the blue line going below the orange line here on December 16th. So that would also kind of give me an idea. It's like us possibly bottoming out here, but you know, you losing the blue line and going below the orange line again, that's not gonna cut it. Market Cipher B is trying to tell you that you might be bottoming out, but I want to see, you know, obviously the green dot being below the green horizontal bars here, that's a really good possible area to try to think about a bottom forming, okay? But what I want to see next is I want to see money flow, this red. But see, money flow has been leaving this asset like the last few months now. You haven't had really solid green on this asset since like back here in July and April. Look what happened over the last couple of months here. Money flow starts going into the green, only for like a couple of days, goes back in the red. Green for a little bit, back in the red. You even get a chance to go green in December before you just continue with more red here on the Market Cipher B money flow, okay? So that's just not going to cut it either. So I would say the answer to your question, I made it a long answer. I could have just said the short answer is no, but the short answer is no. The bottom is not in on stacks, unfortunately. Cameron is in the chat. Good to see you, Cameron. Cameron's one of our pretty good traders here. Always posting up his gains here on the Discord. And the show your gains. Let me see if I can show you guys, Cameron, because I'll just give it a shot. I know Cameron likes to show his gains here. That's nothing compared to like what Cameron has done on the Discord here. 17,000% on a 50x trade. That was one of his biggest trades here. Oy vey. Let me see. He's always posting here on the show your gains on the Discord, how much he's making and the gains that he's getting here. Let me see if I can try to show it to my YouTube guys here. But yeah, Cameron's one of our pretty successful traders. I'm really glad he joined the Meat Gaming community here. Now, let me see if I can just pull this up real quick here so my YouTube guys can see what I'm talking about here. Where's that window capture? And I need to put on. Oh, where's Discord? Where's Discord? I'm not gonna be able to pull it up here on Discord. All right, that's unfortunate. But yeah, Cameron, shout out to you for your sick gains. To be honest with you, you're doing pretty good there, bro. All right. Recpool says a fake Cipher B. Hey, it works for me. Let me know what Market Cipher B indicator you're using, because you're probably paying money for it and still getting the same data that I'm getting. Just saying. All right. So we looked at stacks. Let's get back into taking a look at Bitcoin, because I am in a trade on Bitcoin, a long right now. And I'm trying to see if I can get into any other longs. I feel like around this time, like after the New York session ends, it seems like that's when the selling is over in crypto, and we can get some like possible good long setups going here for the next day, until Wall Street starts selling on us again in the next New York session. Right now we see Bitcoin trading at 88,180. Let's see, on the daily time frame, I did like the fact that I saw a green buy dot show up here on market cipher B. Right, this is the market cipher B indicator here, and we had a green buy dot show up on December 19th. It's probably the same green buy dot that showed up on Recpool's market cipher B. So I don't know why he thinks this one's fake, but this one's pretty real to me. What I am waiting for next here on market cipher B is on the daily time frame. I'm just waiting for us to go back in the green again. We had a little bit of green here in the beginning of December, where Bitcoin climbed up from like 80K back up to 90K all over again. I want to see money flow go back into Bitcoin on the daily time frame one more time here. We had the beginnings of a possible bullish momentum getting started here on Friday. That's why I was a little bit optimistic about cryptocurrency this weekend. And from what I'm seeing, I still think we can be optimistic about cryptocurrency going later on this week here. But that's what I see with Bitcoin on the market cipher B indicator on the daily time frame here. Let's take a look at the MACD real quick. MACD for Bitcoin. You can see that we had a MACD crossover to the upside after having a MACD crossover to the downside last week. So that was, last week was pretty volatile. And for those who were able to play it pretty well, like my buddy Cameron here, Cameron had a pretty good week trading all that volatility. But for some traders, it knocked people out, frustrated the crap out of some people, and it's understandable because you had a crossover to the downside, only to have a crossover to the upside, all in 1 week here. But because we're crossing up to the upside, I still think we're going to see a few more good days where we start seeing buying pressure. We'll see more green candles showing up here, hopefully going into Christmas and later on this week. And that's why I'm optimistic on Bitcoin this week, just based off of this MACD indicator here, this crossover to the upside, buying pressure coming in. I think whatever move we're getting right now is going to be to the upside. Of course, we might get some corrections every now and then intraday during the day, the hourly time frames here, but I think we can still be bullish slightly on crypto going up, throughout this week here. And that's just looking at the daily time frame. All right, well, let me get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. I already gave you the levels. I already highlighted the levels to look out for. I think if we are going to continue being bullish here on Bitcoin, we could try to target 90,500 all over again. That was the high for today. Okay, but it was also some levels to be looking out for here. We had some candle wick closes and some candle body closes around the $90,500 level here. So I think that's the next level to look out for. But then another level based off the VRVP indicator here, I think 91,400 level to look out for. You got some body candle closes around that area at 91,400. So that's another upside target. Where if you want to take some longs now and take profit at that area, that's fine. I think that's worth taking a shot at. And then maybe you could try to initiate a short at that level, but just know, all right, we might continue past 91,400 and head up to 93,200, which is another level on the VRVP indicator here. And it's also a candle wick high here, back here on Friday, November 28th. Okay, so I think this is another level to look out for. So I already highlighted these secret levels. Okay, it's not really secret levels, but these are levels that I was able to find on the VRVP indicator here. Okay, where you get the high volume nodes here, high volume node here, another high volume node here, and then another high volume node. All right, and I already marked it off so that way it's always there. Even if I got the VRVP indicator turned off, I can still look at these important levels to be looking out for. All right, let's go into the 1 hour time frame, because this is like a time frame that I like to start off with when I'm trying to get into a day trade to get ideas like what might come next throughout the day here. And very unfortunate on the 1 hour time frame that we came up only for us to lose, and any long that took a long, you know, this morning, they pretty much got destroyed. Either they lost all their gains, or they, you know, they got stopped out, or maybe they got liquidated if they weren't using a stop loss. But I can see here on the 1 hour time frame that we are trying to get some support off the 50-day moving average, this green line here. So that's good to see. Did we make a higher low than what we did here last night? Last night we actually came down to 87,846. Today we came down to 87,853. Oh my god. They slightly, just barely created a higher low on the 1 hour time frame than what they did last night. So we're still making higher lows here. Frustrating the crap out of the bears, but I mean, if you were a bear and you're short, I actually did take a short on Bitcoin earlier this morning at 98,500 because I already was keen on this level here. However, I think I might have moved my stop loss a little bit too early. I saw that, you know, Bitcoin was coming down, and I was like, all right, let me put my stop loss at 90,300, and sure enough, that they brought it up to 90,400 and then sent it down to lower levels. I'm like, what the hell? Maybe I should just move it to like break even at 90,500. I still would have been alright, but I tried to move my stop loss a little bit past break even and into profit. I still got a little bit of profit on my short, but not as much as I could have had I was able to stay in that short trade. So, you know, a little mess up on my part, I guess. But, you know, it's just, you got to use your judgment, and I thought moving the stop loss was the right thing to do, and it was the right thing to do, but I might have did it too early. Thank you, Cameron, for sending me the You're Awesome stickers and gifts here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Jay has followed me here on TikTok. Thank you for following me here on TikTok, Jay. Don Cole says, now we long? I think you can look for longs if you're day trading Bitcoin right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm in a long right now. I think I'm at break even right now. Let's just take a look at my trade here on MEXC real quick here. Yeah, I'm up slightly. I actually got in on Bitcoin this afternoon at 88K. We came down to 87.7, I believe. Let's see if yeah. Oh, 87.8, yeah. So 87.7 is where my stop loss is at, but 87.870 is where we came down to. So I didn't get the exact bottom. I would most likely never get the bottom. All right, the exact bottom, but I got close to it at 88K here. And I just felt like this was, you know, I saw selling pressure was starting to die down here on the 15-minute time frame, and I was like, all right, maybe this is the worst that the selling gets, and I want to take, you know, a swing at it. I can always add more to the position, but I decided to do my first buy here at 88K this afternoon here on Bitcoin. I guess right now I don't know. I want to pay attention to. I really want to pay attention to see how far this thing comes down. We could come down back to like where I bought at 88K all over again, make a double bottom, and then jump up to higher prices. And if I see that, where we don't go lower than 87,879 here on MEXC, I would like to add another long here on Bitcoin, another 25x long on Bitcoin, and try to ride this thing up to higher prices later on tonight, because this thing will pretty much form like a W or a double bottom, and that'd be great to see. Or even better, you know, even if we don't do a double bottom, if we just start going up right now in the next hour or two and make a higher low and then make a higher high, get above this 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame, that would get me excited to like maybe either stay in my long or add to my long here on Bitcoin. So it's Richie. You're asking me, am I still bullish? I am bullish short term. You already talked about this. I saw a green buy dot on market cipher B on the daily time frame last Friday, and money flow is looking okay, and the MACD is looking good as well. So I think we can be bullish this week here on crypto, with Bitcoin and crypto in general. But there's going to be some corrections, like we already seen this afternoon. Like there's going to be corrections. So like, you know, we just had a correction, an intraday correction. Now I think we should be looking for longs if we're day trading this. When we get back up to 90K again, we should probably start looking for shorts. And then you put your stop loss wherever you need to, where you're only going to lose 1% of your account at the most on your stop loss. And if you get stopped out, well, you only lose 1% of your account, and then you get to do it again. You can do that like 99 more times before you lose your entire account. Let me just do a volume check here. Let me see here. I'm really paranoid that the music might be too loud. Let me just do a volume check here. I might have to change the song that I'm using here. Anyways, I see there's a few people here on my YouTube stream, and no one's really talking. No one's really saying anything. They're just watching. But if it's too loud, let me know. I could try to turn the volume down. Matter of fact, I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit more on my end. Until I get someone that says, you know, oh, the music's fine, or turn it down some more. And then I'll turn it down some more. Let's see. Big Chungus is in the chat. Good to see you. D2 Miami wants to look at QNT. D2 Miami, I'm trying to do some live trading here. All right, we'll take a look at QNT. Yeah, I can do that for you. But I want to go back to looking at the charts here for Bitcoin. Right now, I see something nice here on the 15-minute time frame. I see a green candle showing up here on the 15-minute time frame on the MACD. Could mean that maybe the lows are in for today. And it's just funny, like, Cameron, I don't know if you've been in my other live streams the last few days. I know you've been in my live streams, and the same thing with you, D2 Miami. But it seems like when I go live at like 4 p.m. after the New York session is over, after Wall Street is done selling Bitcoin, is when we can start taking longs again. It's just funny that Wall Street just violently sells off Bitcoin, and it allows us to like look for longs all throughout the night here. All right. So yeah, let's look at QNT for my buddy D2 Miami over here. So we're looking at Quant on Coinbase Exchange, currently trading at $74.63. Do you want to look at the small time frame or the big time frame? I'm going to start with the big time frame until you tell me otherwise that you want me to look at the small time frame here. But let's what is Quant doing here? So we've seen Quant made some highs here back on November 30th, got up to like $108. Not shabby, not shabby. Okay. Then you just created a descending channel here in an organized fashion. You just came down making lower highs, lower lows. Not even. It kind of like a nice parallel, right? This is what it looks like to me, like a parallel channel, a descending channel like this. Where you just came on down in your descending channel here, but now you got a reversal out of the channel, and you broke out of the channel to the upside now. And it looks like you made a higher low compared to what you did here on November 21st, so that's good to see. What is market cipher B and MACD showing? On the MACD for Quant, selling pressure is dying down. That's good to see. It looks like it started dying down on December 15th, last Monday. So, you know, if you're an aggressive trader, you could have tried to buy as soon as you start seeing these pink candles coming in. So if you're an aggressive trader, you would be trying to buy Quant right now, okay? However, if you're not an aggressive trader, if you want waiting for confirmation, you want to wait for this blue line here on the MACD to cross the orange to the upside, kind of like it did here on November 24th. That blue line crossed the orange line to the upside, and then of course, look at that, you got a bunch of green candles that started showing up here on the daily time frame, indicating that buying pressure was coming in for quant here. All right, like back here, if I could just get rid of this Fibonacci here, but back here on November 24th, right, had you listened to the confirmation signal from the MACD with the blue line cross the orange to the upside, you would have got in, you know, right here at like 77 bucks, and you would have rode this all the way up to like 100 bucks. Okay, so that's what you're waiting for here. It hasn't happened yet, but if you start getting some buying pressure, if the selling pressure starts dying down, you start seeing green candles showing up, you'll see the blue line cross the orange line to the upside, and that'll be your confirmation that this thing could make another run up to higher prices here, maybe going into like January. And if it does go up to higher prices here, where could we go, right? Well, we got the 21 EMA above us at $82. That might be a problem area. More likely, I would think the 50-day moving average would act as a problem, and a lot of people are paying attention to the 50-day, and that's that green line there, 87 bucks. So I think anywhere between 82 and 87, good area to take some short-term profit. But ultimately, I think, you know, because we're still in a downtrend, we might still be in a bear market for cryptocurrency and even this particular asset as well. I think this 200-day moving average is going to act as resistance at $98.35. But let me confirm that using the VRVP indicator, right? See what the levels are with the VRVP indicator. You got a point of control at 81 bucks. Okay, well, that's right below the 21 EMA. But could be a problem area, maybe. Then you got some more high volume here at 89 and some high volume here at 93. But then you get the value area high at 97. So I think 97, which is confluent with that 200-day moving average at 98. You should strongly consider clicking that sell button. Not financial advice. Never financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if I was in the trade, if I was in this investment, I would take profit at 98 bucks, 97 bucks, where that white line and that red line are at. Guys, I do have a gift gallery. Let me see if I can show this to you. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see that on TikTok, but I do have a gift gallery here on TikTok. If you guys want to, you know, show your thanks and appreciation to me on TikTok, you can do that. My YouTube guys, not really much you guys can do because the channel's not monetized yet. But if you guys are looking for a cryptocurrency exchange to start trading with, and you want to use my referral code, help yourself out and help me out, then I did start an affiliation here with WEEX Exchange. They have like a $30,000 welcome bonus here. And let me see if I could.
I was here back in the middle of November. But if I zoom out and I put on that VRVP indicator, you'll see that we have a high volume.
I guess I should probably put in the comments here my my link to my description here for my my WEEX link here. But yeah, let me get out of that here. I think here I have my link. Yeah, for my YouTube guys, if you want to join WEEX, I have a link right here to join WEEX cryptocurrency exchange. I also have another link here for MEXC as well. Did I put the MEXC in there? I think I gotta add it in there. I didn't put it in there, but I also have a link for MEXC as well. For my TikTok guys, you can find that, I believe, in the bio here. The link to join the WEEX cryptocurrency exchange is right there in my bio. Okay, let me go ahead and click on that, see if I can get that popped up. Open anyways. Yeah, I said open anyways. Come on. Okay. Hey. Where is it? I'm sorry, guys. I'm relatively new to this. I was trying to get the code. I had a code that I wanted to show you guys here. If you want to join WEEX Exchange. Let me see if I can pull it up one more time here. Open anyways. But you can barely see it. That's the code. XVDP is my referral code for WEEX. You can message me on TikTok and I can send you the link to join WEEX. But they have like up to $30,000 of bonuses. If you're a day trader, this is really great because they'll give you money to help fund up to $30,000 on your day trading account with WEEX. Let me see if I can get into the WEEX cryptocurrency exchange here. All right. But yeah, here's the new user rewards here for WEEX. If you do decide to join WEEX, go ahead and click my link to join WEEX. But they have different things that are set up here on WEEX where if you deposit $3,000 and you keep it on their exchange for 3 days, they'll give you like a $2,000 towards your trading account that you can add to your account. Then here they have a $6,000 deposit. You keep that in there for 3 days, you'll get up to $3,000 on top of the $2,000 here. If you keep $10,000 in the account for 3 days here, then you can also see another $4,000 get deposited into your account here. So there's like different ways here. Right now, I recently started the account here on WEEX, so I only put like $1,000 on the exchange here. Okay, but I'm gonna hold it for 3 days, and I'll get that $500 position airdrop, and then another $400 position, and another $100. So basically, I basically get my $1,000 back that I put on there, and I can use that where they'll do a position airdrop. Okay. And it says you use the position airdrop to open up future positions with specified leverage and direction for free. Your profits can be withdrawn, but they're basically giving you free money to trade with, from what I understand. But you're not able to take that free money. You can trade with that free money, and then whatever profits you have, you can take that out of the account and do whatever you wish with your profits. So that's a cryptocurrency exchange I think is worth getting into. They have, it's very easy to get started here. All you gotta do is sign up with that code, right? I show you the code right here, and then the link here to join, right? My code is XVDP right there for WEEX. That's the code that you're looking for. But this is the link that you can get here on TikTok, okay? And you can start trading with WEEX, and of course, whatever trading fees that you get with WEEX, some of those trading fees would actually go to me. It'd be about like I believe 70% commission. So that's how I get helped out with you joining WEEX Exchange. So very easy to join. They don't really do KYC unless you want to do KYC. And I don't believe you need to use a VPN either. So I think, try looking at WEEX. If you do have to use a VPN, it's relatively cheap. I think VPNs go for like $3 or $4 a month, or you get like a discount if you do it for a year or two. So let me know how it works out for you guys if you do sign up on that link. And if you run into any problems, I'm your guy. I actually work with the guys at WEEX cryptocurrency exchange. So if you have any problems with your account, you can let me know, and I'll let my guy know so we can get your account back up and running again. Okay, so you're not going to be left out to dry if you do things, going through me here on your endeavors with WEEX cryptocurrency exchange. All right. Cameron says I should include the hashtags too. Yeah, there's some things I need to do. I need to add some more links here and make sure I got the codes ready to go. But yeah, I recently partnered up with WEEX, and I just want to put it out there that I'm working with them now, guys. All right. Cameron says for quant have 5K by at 52. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, but we were looking at quant earlier. What was quant doing? Yeah, it's just coming out of a descending channel here. I would be looking for longs rather than shorts. Could quant go lower? Yeah, I mean it has seen lower prices in April at like $58. Is that what you're talking about? Like $52? You think quant could still go down to $52? Is that what you're inquiring here, Cameron? D2 Miami's heading out. See you later, D2 Miami. See you tomorrow. Ava Medina's in the chat here on YouTube. Good to see you, Ava Medina. I just recently partnered up with WEEX cryptocurrency exchange, and I'm working on partnering up with MEXC over here. So that's a bit of good news that I got for you guys here. That you'll probably be seeing some more links to come join the exchanges. And when they got the exclusive VIP bonuses or whatever programs they're doing, they'll let me know, and I'll be able to get you guys on board with those programs right now. But just going back to what WEEX is doing right now, they got like a $30,000 new user bonus. So if you're new to WEEX, this works out. Where depending upon how much money you put on the exchange here, you can get like some position airdrops here. And not to be confused with like free money, but the money that they put into your account, you can use that to trade with, and then whatever profits you get to keep, the profits. And obviously, the airdrops, the money stays locked into the account. But it's better than using your money, right? You get to use money that WEEX is willing to put into your trading account for futures here. So anyways, I just wanted to give that shout out to WEEX platform and let you guys know that I do have a link to join WEEX, and that is the code right there to get on board with the referral bonus. Alrighty, and then for my YouTube guys, same deal. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I also got the link here in the description to my channel. You can join that, and there's the VIP code right there, XBDP. All right. You guys have any more questions? I'm feeling pretty excited about 2026 going forward here. Whether the prices go down on crypto, that just means we'll have some buying opportunities here. But if we get some more interest rate cuts and quantitative easing going, then maybe the bear market might not actually be too severe of a bear market for crypto. And I foresee, with Bitcoin, right, especially Bitcoin, I think this week is going to be a good week. I think we might actually get the Santa rally for Bitcoin. And the reason why I say that is because look on the market cipher B indicator here, we did have a green buy dot that showed up last Friday. And then money flow, although it was starting to increase, now it's kind of like going sideways. And as long as Bitcoin continues to climb back up to 90K again, you'll see money flow start going back up, curving back up, and then maybe we'll get some green like we saw last week of November, first week of December. We might get a little bit of a bull run going here on Bitcoin going into maybe New Year's. But that's what I'm seeing here on the daily time frame. Let's try to zoom out here, and we'll go to the larger time frames here for Bitcoin. MACD kind of looks all right here, but I like the fact that we had the MACD crossover to the upside, so that also justifies this green buy dot here on market cipher B, which is justifying why I am leaning bullish on crypto and Bitcoin rather than bearish for this week. But let's get into the 3-day. The 3-day, you can see selling pressure is dying down here on the MACD. That's good to see. Eventually, you'll start getting green candles here like you did here in the first week of October. Does anybody remember the first week of October when Bitcoin was at 126 grand? Well, guess what? Selling pressure is dying down right now, and we might start getting some green candles here on the MACD on the 3-day chart here for Bitcoin. So that would be a nice little pleasant surprise. Also on the market cipher B indicator, you had a green buy down here that showed up last week, and you got money flow is curving up to the upside. We might actually have a decent week this week going into New Year's next week. Just what I'm seeing on the charts here. Maybe the worst is over for now. Going to the 5-day chart, and we're looking at the longer time frames now here. But just looking at the longer time frames and the momentum indicators with the MACD, you can see that selling pressure is dying down here in the 5-day chart for Bitcoin. We haven't had a MACD crossover, but if you see this blue line crossing the orange line to the upside, I mean, that could be signaling the worst is coming to an end here. And we might have see the lows in this correction or crash that we got for Bitcoin. But you want to see that blue line cross the orange line to the upside. Last time the blue line crossed the orange line to the upside, just to give you some reference here, last time the blue line went above the orange line on the 5-day chart here for Bitcoin was the end of April, after we got the pause on tariffs. I'm not sure what's going to cause that for a positive catalyst this time. Maybe we get more quantitative easing. Maybe we get those stimulus checks that Donald Trump has been talking about, giving Americans, like, you know, a couple of grand or something like that. Who knows what the good news might be? But I don't want to get too excited, because selling pressure could start increasing on the 5-day time frame out of nowhere, like we saw back here in June of 2024, right, where selling pressure died down and then all of a sudden it just started increasing again. We do not want that, okay? We want to see selling pressure continue to die down and then get some green candles here on the 5-day time frame here for Bitcoin on the MACD. And I'm just trying to give you guys some more hopium here. We did have a green buy dot here that showed up on December 17th here on the 5-day time frame. The next thing you want to see is money flow start curving up to the upside here. But these are higher time frames. It takes a while for these things to start turning. It's like trying to turn, you know, a large oil tanker out on the ocean here. They take forever to turn. It's not like a speedboat, okay? The 15-minute time frame, the 5-minute time frame, those would be like the speedboats when it comes to like trying to turn on a dime here. It's gonna take a while, but they have more significance when they do. Once they start turning, it's hard to slow them down. And then here in the weekly time frame, on the market cipher B indicator, we do not have a green buy dot yet on Bitcoin here. That I would like to see. And then of course, the next thing I would like to see is money flow start curving back up to the upside here. That hasn't happened yet here on market cipher B. Last time we had a green buy dot, kind of like in this area, was like back here in April. And the last time money flow went from being in the negative to like going in positive was like here in May. So we got a lot of work to do if that's going to be the case. But yeah, we would need to see, like, you know, lower interest rates, quantitative easing, stimulus checks from Donald Trump, you know, maybe no more tariffs, right? Maybe tariffs get ruled illegal for some reason, you know, and then we would probably see a lot of money start flowing back into Bitcoin again. And then maybe you guys might see that parabolic run for altcoins. But you gotta see a lot of positive things first before we could get extremely bullish again on Bitcoin and crypto. Right now, we're just cautious. Right now, I'm still of the opinion that we are in a steep correction. Obviously, we're in a bear market on Bitcoin, and we're going to be in a bear market on Bitcoin until we get above that 200-day moving average, that red line here at 107,800. I would be optimistic on Bitcoin and crypto again if we ever get up to that level. And I would, you know, obviously need to see it go higher than that. I would like to see 116K all over again, okay? But get up to 108K, and I would start to be more bullish. I would go from being bearish to bullish on Bitcoin. I'm still bearish. Even if we get up to the 200-day moving average, we could still get rejected, and I would be justified being bearish on Bitcoin still, even if we do get up to 108K. It all depends on how we handle ourselves if we do get up to 108K. And then that's still an if, not a certainty. All right. Well, I think we had a pretty good solid live stream here, guys. I'm still trying to see if I can enter a long on Bitcoin. Let me go into the 15-minute time frame, see what that looks like here. Either I get a long on Bitcoin or maybe a long Ethereum or Solana. Because sometimes Bitcoin leads the way and then Ethereum could still be at a discount or Solana could be at a discount, and I could get those on the cheap for a cheap long. On the 50-minute time frame, what is Bitcoin doing? You're below the 200 moving average. I guess we're still okay as long as we stay above 87,800. That's where my stop loss is currently at on my long here on MEXC. But yeah, if we lose 87,800, we could probably come down and hit this low back here on Sunday at like 87,500, which is not too far off from where the price action will be breaking down at. I really want to see us stay above 87,800 here. Let's do that. And then let's try to climb back up to this 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame at 88,600. We'll see how we handle ourselves at that level for the day trading action. Let's see what the oscillators are doing here. 50-minute time frame is showing momentum is rising and money flow is rising, so that's good to see. Showing the short time frame is showing that money is going into Bitcoin. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. We are in the negative here, and we haven't really turned our heads yet. We're not really reversing trend right here. So right now the trend is still downward on the 1 hour time frame. So you got a little bit of conflicting signals here between the 1 hour and the 15-minute. Just out of curiosity, let's see what the 30 minutes doing. 30 minutes is a little bit more promising than the 1 hour. So the 15-minute and the 30 are fine. 15-minute is starting to look really good, but 30-minute money flow was decreasing, but now it's going sideways, which is the start of a reversal. We did get a green buy dot here around 5 p.m. Eastern time here. So could be possibly trying to turn its way back up. And let's see what the 5-minute time frame and the small time frames. 5-minute time frame, money flow in the negative, but looks like we are trying to curve back up, and we got some green buy dots showing up here. So maybe in the short to medium time frames here, we might see Bitcoin going up later on tonight. Trying to see if I see anything on the MACD indicator here. MACD indicator, you got the crossover to the upside. That's good to see, and you got some green buy. But I just want to see. We need to see more buying pressure here. More buying pressure. Not this is kind of selling off right now. Yeah, buying pressure is starting to die down with the light green candles here. Back to the 15-minute time frame. Selling pressure has died off. You get the green buying pressure candles coming in. 50-minute looks fine. 50-minute looks great for Bitcoin right now for a long. 30-minute is trying to catch up to the 15-minute time frame as far as being bullish. And then 1 hour time frame on the MACD. Although you had selling pressure, you get a little bit of light. You get a light pink candle here. This is the start of selling pressure dying down. I want to see another light pink candle, another light pink candle, and then I want to see up. Now we're back to dark red again. But I want to see light pink, and then start seeing green again on the 1 hour time frame. But that's going to take some time. You probably won't see that towards, right when you guys are about to go to bed tonight. It's probably when you might see a green candle show up here on the 1 hour time frame. It all depends on how fast and how hard we go with going up to higher prices here. But I think the lows are in for today. Once again, Wall Street did it again, guys. Wall Street sold the highs. They had their levels they were looking at. I was looking at the same level as well. And they just took it, you know, around like 10 a.m. You got your first red candle here on the 1 hour time frame, then another red candle, then another red candle around lunchtime for Wall Street, and then another red candle. And then finally, like, you know, you get the big red candle here at 2 o'clock. That might have been when Wall Street was done selling everything that they were planning on selling. And then they might have started going home around 3 o'clock. And then the selling wasn't as aggressive as it was when they first opened up for business today. But yeah, I'm going to put the blame on Wall Street one more time. But it's becoming so predictable, right? You just buy, right? You buy when Wall Street goes home for the day. Around this time, during my live streams, it seems to be like the best time to be buying crypto, right? And then you sell either before you go to bed or when you wake up the next morning, and before Wall Street opens up for business again around like 9 or 10 a.m. is when Wall Street, 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time is when Wall Street opens up for business, and then they click the sell button if they don't, especially if we already hit a level that we were supposed to hit. Okay, so yeah, I think, do I want to get into a Bitcoin long? Maybe I might want to get into Ethereum or Solana long. Let's see, what's the most beat up one right now? I think I might try to do Zcash one more time. I don't know. Zcash kind of does its own thing though. Let's see what Zcash, let's look at the Zcash real quick here. Zcash on a 1 hour time frame. Let's see, Zcash currently trading at 431 bucks. What I don't like about Zcash is you made a low here on the price on the 1 hour time frame here. You kind of did that. Why did you have to do that? I can still work with this though. If we have bullish divergence showing up, then maybe this could be salvageable here. 34.73 on the RSI and 33. No, you didn't make a bullish divergence. You didn't make a higher low on the RSI, so you can't make that argument. However, you are at the 618.65 golden pocket here at 426, 435. That's usually the usual retrace level here. Zcash did come up to like 460. It came up to like 460 last Friday, and I drew this Fibonacci from 460 all the way down to 371 back here last Wednesday is where we were trading at 371. So we got the levels to look out for. We already hit the normal retracement level here. If Zcash was going to continue to be bearish, it'd probably come down to like 0.5 retracement at 415 bucks. And that'd be probably a better area to try to go long on Zcash if you're inclined to do so. Let's look at the momentum indicators to kind of figure out what the direction is going to be here. On the 1 hour time frame, selling pressure is here, and you do not have a MACD crossover to the upside, and you still got a solid red candle here. You don't have a light pink candle here, so I don't know if I want to get into Zcash for a day trade long here. At least not right now. Maybe later on tonight if I'm inclined to do so. Let's see what Zcash looks like on a 15-minute time frame for the MACD. You did get the crossover here, so that's good to see here around like 4:30. Got some buying pressure showing up, but now the buying pressure kind of dying down now, so that's a little weak sauce right there. Market cipher B starting to show some green though on money flow. And yeah, the money flow is going to give you the overall trend, and right now the trend is to the upside because money flow is increasing here. And I think that's the only reason why you saw, you know, Zcash bottom out at 423 here, and now it's hanging out at 431. Yeah, this was a doozy because yeah, you came down to 427 Sunday, only to make a lower low. You did not make a higher low. And this would only be good to see if you actually was getting like bullish divergence on the R side, but you don't have that. You don't have a higher low here. It's a lower low. So you do not have justification to get into a long right now on Zcash. So I should probably leave that one alone. Let's see if maybe like Solana might be doing alright. Maybe doing better than Zcash. Solana at $125. Down 0.52%. Solana kind of did like, well, no, that's on a 15-minute time frame. Let's see on the 1-hour time frame. Solana did make a higher low compared to what it did here on Sunday, so that's good to see. Okay, a lot better than what Zcash did right there. Let's see what it looks like on the momentum and the MACD indicators here. Selling pressure starting to die off. A lot better than what we saw with Zcash. And then market cipher B. On the 1-hour time frame, money flow is still in the red right now. I'm waiting for like money flow to start curving up, or maybe start seeing a green buy dot show up on the 1-hour time frame. You don't have that yet. 15-minute time frame. Money flow is going into the green. And yeah, this is good. Momentum's looking good. I would try to get into Solana over Zcash at this point. Let's see, on the 15-minute time frame, you get a nice solid red candle, so maybe you might get some buying opportunities here. Maybe you might be able to buy it at 124, 124.80 or 125 around there. The lowest low for today for Solana looks like it came in at 124.13. So maybe you can probably buy the halfway point at like 124.80. Yeah. I think Solana looks a lot better for a long. If we were to try to get into a long for Solana, just game playing this one out. We just took it to the highs for today. We put the stop loss below the lows for today. You got a risk reward ratio of 2.8. That's good. Anything like 3 and above is a good enough trade to be taken for the amount of risk you're taking. And you'd be risking about 0.9% to try and get 2.7%. Slap on. What would you slap on? Maybe like 50x leverage. With 50x leverage, you'd be risking 50% on your stop loss to try and get like 100. I can't even do the math, but it'd be like 2.7 times times 50, whatever that comes out to. So like 2.7 and 50. Yeah, you'd be risking 50% to try and get 135% if you just buy now, put the stop loss below the lows today, and try to ride this back up to the highs at $128 with 50x leverage. Might be worth taking the trade. Should I try to get into a Solana long right now? I see Bitcoin is climbing. It's climbing up to 88,500 right now. Ethereum's back above 3 grand. Let's see what it looks like here on MEXC exchange. If I was to try to trade Solana, what did I say, 50x leverage? See what that does here. And I'll try to do either 100 or 200 bucks of margin, maybe 160. Yeah, sure, that sounds good enough. And I'm gonna. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna try to do a market order here if I can. Oh yeah, and the price is climbing literally as I'm talking about it right now. No, getting away from me. But what was it? High was 128.73. It's like maybe 128.60. I'll make $179 on the trade. And I'm gonna put the stop loss at 124. I'll lose $97 on that. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a little bit too much. Too much for me. And it's saying now I'll lose 68% on the stop loss. When we were first looking at it, it was like I was gonna lose 50%. But now the price is climbing as I speak. I mean, it's just this thing is moving, and I'm kind of losing out on the trade right now. The trade is kind of getting away from me right now. So I would wait. Yeah, I was gonna try to get into a long here. I'm gonna have to tone down the leverage if I wanted to get into it. Maybe 20x leverage. So with 20x leverage, I'll lose about 46 bucks to try and make 63 bucks. No, it's not even worth it anymore. I would have to try to stay in the trade a little bit longer than the highs for today at 128 bucks. Let's see what the 4-hour chart looks like. I would have to maybe like try to stay in the trade and see if I could push Solana up to like where we had the previous highs here, like 140 bucks maybe. Let's see, if I did 140 bucks, I make about 225%, and I'd be risking 29% to try and get 225. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that. I think I should just be happy with the long that I have right now on Bitcoin right now. I'm already up to 18% right now on Bitcoin. Got in at 88 grand, and we're at 88,750. Maybe I should just try to not be too greedy, huh? Just be happy with what I got. I think I'm going to end the live stream there, guys. I appreciate you coming into the live stream, asking me questions, ask me about the cryptocurrencies you want to take a look at. And we'll just have to do this again tomorrow. Same time, between 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time is when I usually go live. Okay? But thank you guys for coming to the live stream and analyzing cryptocurrencies with me. Like I said earlier in the live stream, I think Wall Street is just the ones that keep dumping on us, but you can, you know, plan and predict that when Wall Street is done selling for the day, literally around this time when I go live is like the best time to buy crypto. And then maybe you can sell before you go to bed on your day trades, or maybe wake up tomorrow morning and you're further in profit, and then try to sell before Wall Street gets their hands and starts clicking the sell button. Because I feel like every time the New York session opens and Wall Street starts coming alive here, is when they start dumping on us. If we already hit like some targets to the upside, they're definitely going to click the sell button. But yep, that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good rest of your night here, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.